Okay, hi guys, I think I'm live now. Can you see me and if you can hear me and if everything is looking good, please do let us know in the chat so that we can start today's session. If you want to take part in today's session, please go to crackcode.in/live. These are important questions for IIFT. All of them are in quant. There'll be a good revision for you, and I also wanted to have a chat with you before the IIFT exam. So do let me know if you're facing any issues or if you're having any difficulty level, any difficulty. Hi Siddhi, hi Ketan, how are you guys? I hope your preparation for IIFT is going well. In IIFT, quant is slightly on the weightage of quant is slightly lesser as compared to verbal or DLR. So not many people take this very seriously, but you have to remember that you can really score very well in these 25 questions that are there in quant. So try to do well, and let us start today's session. So guys who have just joined the stream, please do like the stream and please do subscribe to our channel. You can take part in today's test by going to crackcode.in/live. The test and the questions will start in exactly another 2 minutes. Hi Shrikar, how are you? We are just waiting for a few more people to join us. Once the number of likes crosses say 25 or so, then we will start today's session. How many mocks have you taken for IIFT? You do know that we are providing some very useful mocks, right? We have 5 mocks for IIFT. All of them are in the latest pattern. You should definitely check it out. They'll be very useful for you, and they're taken by hundreds of people and thousands of people across the country. Anish, hi Anish, how are you? Siddhi Joshi is saying, sir, can you please repeat the link? Please go to crackcode.in/live. Crackcode.in/live, and then you can take part in today's test. The first question will be on your screen now. Hi Ronit, how are you? Hi Shubham. I hope you are preparing well for IIFT. It's a very good institute, so you should give your best in the examination. Okay. In this question, we are told that there is a number which gives a which when divided by 3 gives a remainder of 1, but when it is divided by 4, it gives a remainder of 2. We are required to calculate how many such numbers are less than 100. So if this number is say n, when this is divided by 3, the remainder is 1, and when this is divided by 4, the remainder is 2. You would immediately notice that if you add 2 to n, and if you are looking at n plus 2, this will be divisible by both 3 as well as by 4. Because when it is divided by 3, the remainder is 1. So if you are adding 2 to n, and if you are dividing n plus 2, it will be perfectly divisible by 3. Similarly, n plus 2 will be perfectly divisible by 4. This would imply that n plus 2 is of the form 12 into n for some 12 into k for some natural number k, and n is of the form 12 into k minus 2. The smallest such number which is less than 100 will be 10, that is when k is equal to 1. The second one will be 22 when k is equal to 2. The third one will be 34 when k is equal to 3, and so on. And the largest such number which is less than 100 will be 94. This is when k is equal to 8, because then 12 into 8 is 96, minus 2 is 94. So the number of such numbers which are less than 100 which satisfy this given property is equal to 8, which is option A. Let us look at the next question. In this question, we are told that there are two people, A and B, Abha and Bina. They are running around a circular track. Initially, they both start running in the same direction. The length of the track, L is given to be equal to 900 meters. And the speed of Abha is 10 meter per second, and the speed of Bina, B, is 20 meter per second. We are required to calculate what is the time it takes for them to meet for the fourth time. And once they reach the starting point, their direction reverses. Before we look at their respective speeds and the length, we'll just notice that the ratio of their speeds is 1:2. That is important. So when both of them start at the same point, by the time B, who is twice as faster, completes one circle and reaches this point again, A would reach exactly half of it. So just to understand, by the time A covers 300 meters and reaches the midpoint, B would have covered 600 meters and reaches the starting point again. Now B reverses his direction, and he would meet B for the first time over here. Actually, the length of the path is 900 meters, not 600 meters. So by the time A covers 450 meters, which is midway, B would have covered 900 meters. And they would meet again at this point. B would reverse his direction, A would continue to run in this path, and they would meet over here in this direction. In this time, A would have covered 150 meters and B would have covered 300 meters. Here they would meet for the first time. Now B would continue to run in anti-clockwise direction, A would continue to run in clockwise direction, and in the time where A would have run 300 meters and reached here, B would have covered the entire 600 because he is twice as speed, and he also would have reached the starting point. So at the starting point, both of them meet for the second time. Now B would change his direction, A also would change his direction, and they would meet again at this point. In this distance, A has covered 300 meters and B has covered 600 meters. So here they would meet for the third time. B would continue to run in the clockwise direction, A would continue to run in the anti-clockwise direction, and by the time B covers this 300 meters, A would have covered 150 meters. So at this point, when B reaches the starting point and changes his direction this side, A would be over here and is continuing to run in the clockwise direction. And by the time A covers this half of the circular track, B would have covered the entire circular track. So here they would meet for the fourth time. Now we at least got a sense of how much they are covering. Now let us try to understand how much time it would take. To figure out how much time it would take, the easiest thing to do is figuring out the number of laps that B has actually done. B first went in clockwise direction once, then he came back in anti-clockwise direction once, then he went in clockwise direction again, and finally he came out and met A for the fourth time when he reached the starting point after running in anti-clockwise direction. Or essentially he has covered 4 times, he has done 4 laps. So the total distance he covered is 4 into 900, and his speed is always constant, that is 20 meter per second. So the time taken is 4 into 900 divided by 20. You can cancel this 2, this is 2. So the time taken is 180 seconds. Let us now look at the next question. Animesh is saying, sir, how badly do you think the people will be impacted who had attempted the discrepancy correctly in slot 2? What we have actually noticed is, just give me 1 minute, I'll pull up some data and then I will discuss. What we have noticed is that the number of people who got the slot 2 question correct was more than the number of people who got the slot 3 question correct. So typically, let me try to figure it out. I'll give you the exact numbers. Okay, let us try to answer this question. In this question, we are told that 7 men can do a piece of work in 1 day. So 7 men will take 1 day to finish a piece of work. Let us assume that in 1 day, the amount of work done by a man is 1 unit. So the total work that needs to be done is equal to 7 units. If the total work that needs to be done is 7 units, 7 men can finish it in 1 day. We are also told that 2 women and 9 boys can do the same piece of work in 1 day. And women are 1.25 times or 125% as efficient as men. So in 1 day, a woman can do 1.25 units of work. 2 women can do 2.5 units of work. The total work that needs to be done is 7 units. Therefore, 9 boys will do in 1 day 7 minus 2.5, which is 4.5 units of work. Or in 1 day, 1 boy does 0.5 units of work. A man does, like we discussed, 1 unit of work. And a woman will do 1.25 units of work. We are asked to calculate how many days 2 men, 1 woman and 1 boy will take to finish a piece of work if the boys are working at 125% of their efficiency. So each boy will do 1.25 units. The woman is working at 50% of efficiency, so women will do 0.5 units of work. And boy works at 75% of his efficiency, so boy will do 0.75 into, he would usually do 1.25. 0.75 into 0.5 units of work. Woman will do 0.5, that is 50% of what she usually does, which is 1.25. So in one day, the total amount of work done will be 2 into 1.25 plus one woman will do 0.5 into 1.25 and one boy will do plus 0.75 into 0.5. 2 into 1.25 is 2.5. 0.5 into 1.25 is plus 0.625 and 0.75 into 0.5 is plus 0.375. So this is the total work that is done in one day is 3.5 units. The total work that needs to be done is 7 units. So the time taken will be 7 divided by 3.5, which is equal to 2 days. Let us look at the next question. In this question, we are told that there is an equilateral triangle in one plane. The side is 6 centimeters each, so it will be something like this. And on top of them, at a point above the triangle, there is another point which is 8 centimeters away from each of the 3 points. We are required to calculate the surface area of this packed figure. This surface area will have 4 surfaces. One, the base is the equilateral triangle. We can easily calculate the area of this equilateral triangle. This will be root 3 by 4 into a square. The side is 6 centimeters, so this is 6 into 6, which is equal to 9 root 3 square centimeters. This is the area of the base, which is the bottom side. And each of the other sides, because there is a point over here, this will be one surface, this will be one surface, and this will be one surface. Each one of them is an isosceles triangle. If you are drawing them over here, if you are assuming that the names of the points of the base are A, B, and C, and the point which is in another plane is say O, then this will be O, this will be B, and this will be C. BC, the length is 6 centimeters, OB is 8 centimeters, and OC is 8 centimeters. What is the area of this triangle OBC? It can be easily calculated. Just draw a perpendicular from O to BC. Because this is an isosceles triangle, it will intersect it at the midpoint. So this will be 3 and this will be 3. If this point over here is say D, using Pythagoras theorem, we can calculate that the length of OD will be square root of 8 square minus 3 square, which is equal to square root of 55. So the area of triangle OBC will be half into base, which is 6, into height, which is square root of 55. This is equal to 3 into square root of 55. That is the area of this surface. Similarly, the area of the other surface, that is OAC, and the area of the surface OAB will also be equal to 3 square root of 55. So the total surface area will be 9 square root of 3, which is the area of the base, plus 9 into square root of 55, centimeter square, which is the area of the other three sides. So the correct answer will be option C. Let us now look at the next question. So basically what we have noticed is there are thousands of people who submitted their response sheet. Around 7,500 have submitted their response sheet in slot 2 and around 7,700 submitted their response sheet in slot 3. In slot 3, the number of people who got that particular question correct was higher. There were around 1,400 people, that is 20% of the people got that question correct. So the marks will be reduced for all of them. Similarly, if you're looking at slot 2, very few people have actually gotten that question correct. Only 400 out of 7,500 have gotten that question correct, which will be hardly around 6%. And it won't even be 6%. So what we actually feel is that just on the basis of this question, the normalization of slot 3 will be higher. People who have done well in slot 3, I think they'll get more points. Slot 2, I feel will not be impacted as much, the normalization, because many people have already gotten that question wrong. So most of the people have gotten it wrong. So the decrease in the marks in slot 2 will be much less apparent. Guys, please do like the stream. I want to get to at least 50 likes before the stream ends. In this question, we are told that the sum of the first and the 10th numbers of an arithmetic progression is 80. Let us assume that the first number is A and the 10th number will therefore be equal to A plus 9D. The sum of these two will be 2A plus 9D. This is equal to 80. What is the average of the fifth term and the sixth term of this arithmetic progression? What is the fifth term? The fifth term will be A plus 4D and the sixth term will be A plus 5D. What is the average of these two? The average of these two will be their sum, which is 2A plus 9D divided by 2. But we know that 2A plus 9D is equal to 80. So the average will be equal to 80 divided by 2, which is equal to 40. So the answer for this question is option C. Let us look at the next question. Okay, let us answer this question. In this question, we are told that A, B, C, D are four squares whose perimeters are in a geometric progression. What is the areas of these four squares are in what? So what we are told is that there are these four squares. They are in the perimeters are in a geometric progression. If you assume that the side of each of the square is say A, B, C and D, the perimeter of A will be 4A, perimeter of B will be 4B, perimeter of C is 4C and perimeter of D is 4D. These four are in a geometric progression, or essentially A, B, C, D, they are in a geometric progression. So they are of the form A, AR square and AR cube. They are, this is how the four sides of the four squares are. So what is the area of these squares? The area of these squares are A square R square, A square R to the power 4 and A square R to the power 6. Now if you look at it, these areas are also in a geometric progression. The first term is A square and the common ratio is R square, because A square R square divided by A square is R square, A square R to the power 4 divided by A square R square is R square, A square R to the power 6 divided by A square R to the power 4 is also equal to R square. So these areas are also in a geometric progression. The only difference is that the first term is actually A square and the common difference or the common ratio is R square. Let us look at the next question. Rishikesh Tapdi is saying, will the removal of this question impact percentile? I think it will impact percentile definitely. In my opinion, the percentile of people who have attempted the question and gotten it correct will decrease, and the expected percentile of the people who did not attempt the question or got the question wrong will slightly increase. Hi Navnesh, thanks for the very kind words. It makes me very happy to do these kind of streams also, where I get to meet a lot of students. Okay, let us answer this question. In this question, we are told that what is the sum of all the two-digit numbers which leave a remainder of 3 when divided by 4? What is the smallest such two-digit number which leaves a remainder of 3 when divided by 4? That will be 11. The second such number will be 15. The next number will be 19, and so on. And what is the largest two-digit number which will leave a remainder of 3 when divided by 4? That will be 99. So what is the sum of all of these numbers? This is an arithmetic progression. The first term is 11, the last term is 99, and we can easily calculate the sum of an arithmetic progression. The sum of an arithmetic progression is the number of terms divided by 2 into the first term plus last term. Here first term is 11, last term is 99, so we know this two. We have to just figure out the sum of the number of such terms. The number of terms we can be calculated as 99 minus 11, the last term minus the first term, divided by the common difference, which is 4 plus 1. This is equal to 23. So the sum will be 23 into 11 plus 99 is 110 divided by 2. This is equal to 23 into 55, that is 1265, which is option C. Let us look at the last question for today. What about slot 3? I think slot 3 normalization will be more steep. I think in general, people found LRDI of slot 3 to be tough. But because many people actually got that question correct, the slot 3 question correct, all of their marks will actually come down, which would actually make the normalization even more steep. That is what I think would happen in slot 3 LRDI. Okay, let us answer this question. Here we are told that the length of a rectangle has increased by 60%. By what percent should the breadth of the rectangle decrease so that the area of the rectangle remains unchanged? Let us assume that the initial length is L and initial breadth is B. So the initial area is L into B. After the length is increased by 60%, it becomes 1.6 L, and let us assume that the breadth becomes B1. Again, the area remains the same, so 1.6 L into B1 is equal to L into B. We'll cancel L on both sides. So the value of B1 is equal to 5 by 8 into B, which is equal to 0.625 B, or the breadth of the rectangle has decreased by 37.5%. So the answer for this question is option D. Manoj, if you are looking for help in VRC for IIFT, I would recommend you to watch the complete verbal revision for CAT by Sally. It is an excellent video. We have also done a lot of streams for CAT. They will be very useful for IIFT as well. So thanks for tuning in, guys. That's it for today.